Alright friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B. So we have been staying very busy. Just got a lot going on. It's been raining a little bit off and on, as you guys saw in my last video. And right now you can see that we are tearing up the driveway. We have a company that has been here. I've shown you guys a little bit of the driveway previously. It needed to be done. So it is like this all the way down. They have been scraping it and getting it prepped. This is going to be a 3-day process. We just really needed to have this done. We had a lot of holes. The driveway was very old. This is not a cheap endeavor, but the joys of home ownership and in living, you have to make these investments. So that is what we have been up to. We are still focusing on getting the garden together, but for now we are just getting this project done. So sometimes the projects, like I said, there's always something going on. Sometimes the project is not necessarily gardening, but it's something that we have to do. So this is not a short driveway. This is definitely a long driveway, a decently long driveway for us here in our neighborhood. And so we are getting an asphalt laid. We were gonna do concrete, but that's just a lot of upkeep that we just didn't want to deal with, and it's a lot more expensive than asphalt. So we are moving forward with this project. So this is day 1 of the project, and we have 2 more days of it. So I will take you guys along each step of the way. I kind of wanted to document this anyway, just for my purposes of, I should have really gotten a lot more before pictures so you guys could see it, but we actually had grass and stuff growing in the driveway. It was just that old. So yeah, so I will bring you guys back as soon as the next steps happen, which is tomorrow. So we will take it day by day. All right, see you guys soon. Friends, so the driveway is actually done. It looks awesome. We are grateful that we have this beautiful new driveway. There's Tiffany. We are still letting it cure, so we can be on it, but, and you can see it goes all the way down. So it's beautiful and nice, and I'm really excited. We still got the cone at the end my neighbor Patrick, he let us use his cone because I get deliveries, and I just didn't want someone pulling into the driveway and, you know, doing any quote-unquote damage to it. But yeah, we're really happy with the whole road work here, this driveway, so we're excited. It's a blessing to have this. You know, this is why we prep and prepare, is honestly because there's going to be things with home ownership that come up that you have to pay for, and you need to be able to have the money to do it and not go into debt. That's the biggest thing that we need to focus on, is trying to keep ourselves basically out of any debt. We are still working on this area over here, which is the bogan. We have gotten a majority of it cleaned up. Pumpkin, stop. She's a little trash dog. She's in the old seashells in what was the base of the old driveway. Pumpkin, look at her. She's a little trash baby, I'm telling you. I never seen anything like it. So we're still getting the roots out. We are working on that. My fiance went up to our local Lowe's because honestly, it's been a hot day. We've been moving the mulch around from the back area. I told you my neighbors had been getting their stump ground up. So here's what this looks like. We are filling the beds. It's a lot of manual labor. We're filling the beds. I'm going to be turning it under. That's just, it's so much work. Let me go over here and show you this bed. You see we got a lot of mulch stacked in here. So I'm trying to keep the plants that actually were salvageable. And then we're just trying to work our way around it. Like I said before, I'm going to take these pups here, and my goal is to try to transplant them. I have 3 pups on this side. I think that'll be a great start to getting the Cavendish dwarf bananas in the ground. I think that's gonna be good because, like I said, you know, we're always trying to work on our food supply, so whatever works best. Like these Cavendish bananas are just wonderful. They're growing now. I haven't had them actually produce yet, but I haven't had them that long either, so that's just, take that into consideration. The other day I didn't catch this for you guys, but I'm gonna catch it now because I'm in my bathing suit. Because, you know, on the weekends when we get hot, we just like to get into our little pool. I love my little pool. I am not necessarily an in-ground pool because I just don't want that long-term responsibility of an in-ground pool. That's a lifetime of maintenance and taking care of. Personally, I'm just like, if I can keep my little pool, that makes me happy. So because I know if something happens, I can just take it down. It's perfectly fine. Well, this past week, we came out, well, it's actually been happening for a couple weeks. I keep filling the pool. It keeps like diminishing with water, depleting itself, and so here we go. The pool basically has no water. We have not figured out necessarily where the leak is. I'm thinking it's actually somewhere on the bottom of the pool. So we have, Walmart was having a sale because they're competing with the whole Prime situation, where they're having the Prime days or whatever. And so we got us a new little pool from Walmart. I ordered it, it came in. I'm gonna come over here and show you guys. Alright, so here's our new little pool. It's just made by Best Way. It's a 10-foot pool. It's just something to get in so we don't necessarily have to go into the lake. So we just picked it up. It got actually delivered. We didn't pick it up, we just took it from the front of our house back here. My fiance, he ran up to get some chlorine tablets so we can put chlorine and maintain it. It's got a little pump to it, so it was actually a pretty decent deal. And literally for like $130, we've got ourselves a little pool. So Some people are like, oh, that's trashy, but honestly, like I said, for me, it's just something to cool us down. We've got the lake out there, and it's just some fresh, clean water. So that's not necessarily like swamp-based water, as I call it, because the lake can sometimes feel kind of swampy because it gets hot and the weeds and the overgrowth that we've been having in this past year. We've always had a lot of overgrowth. During the summertime, it always gets more productive, the growth does, but right now it's just a little more. And like I said, they've been coming around and doing some like spraying and stuff for the weeds, and so we've seen definitely an uptake in scraping the lake out there because the weeds are washing up to shore. But it is what it is. Like I said, there's always something to do around here. We've always got a lot of work, so you know, that's what I say. Stay busy, stay prepared, you know, just keep up with the things that you can keep up with. Don't get yourself into debt. Try to get yourself out of debt. That's really key right now. There's just every day there's just craziness going on. So that is what we have been doing. Is we've got this driveway taken care of. That is such a relief for me and my fiance. It really needed to be done. That driveway had not been done for a very, very, very long time. And I would easily potentially say like maybe like 40 years or more. That driveway has been down, so it was definitely time to get that taken care of. So I did want to show you guys, I've been putting a lot of nutrients to the plants after that storm that we had, just trying to save and salvage what I could. And I have this papaya growing right here. It came up on its own. I did not plant it there. This is not a place that I would have put it, but sometimes these beautiful volunteers, you know, they will just thrive because they have planted themselves. And we have some beautiful flowers coming up on the plant. Very excited that they are going to be bringing us in some more papayas over here in this corner. Hopefully you guys can see. We have a ton of papayas putting on, and there's more coming on to the plant. So I was going to try to fix this. This is very rickety, and we really need, I'm probably going to order a Vigo bed. I'm going to get this cleaned up and replace this bed here. This is one of my original wood beds. I've had this for, I can't even tell you guys how long, and it is just falling apart. But I don't want to lose my papaya, because you can see I must have at least, you know, a 15 fruit on there, and more are coming up. More little tiny fruit at the very top are coming in. Now you can eat papaya green. You can use papaya leaves for teas. There's a lot of medicinal properties that papaya has, and so I don't necessarily want to lose where it's at, but I've got to get something in its place. And so unfortunately for me financially, that's just another bed. But the beds, the Vigo beds that I've been using, or Vago, a lot of pollen out here today, have been just phenomenal. And so that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, is just putting in another Vigo over here. I really kind of wanted to change up what I was doing out here and just kind of make the beds go in a different direction. But for now, that's not what's gonna happen. So we got some more cleanup. As I said, there's always beautiful work and stuff that needs to be. Ow, I just got stung by a wasp. Ow. I could feel something crawling on me, and then it just stung the crap out of the back of my leg. Okay, so dang, that hurt. So I actually have an allergy to bees and wasps. And of course my fiance's not here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go in the house. You can put, dang, you can put baking soda on it. I have an EpiPen, so I need to go in the house now. But you can put baking soda, pumpkin. You can put baking soda on it. You can put a bentonite clay. You can do several things. That's terrible. It's not what I expected to happen just now. Got stung. Oh, that hurts. Okay. So garden life, be careful. There was a lot of like bees and bugs over there because we've got some flowers over there. So I'm gonna head in the house now and get that taken care of. That will be something I need to tell my fiance to do, is weed that area because the flowers were bringing in the bugs. So I have to go take care of this now. This was a very short video, so I need to take care of myself. So all right guys, until next time, love one another, be kind, and the bentonite clay will really work well for you if you've got issues with stings and bites. All right, until next time, love one another, be kind. I'll see you guys real soon. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today. All right, so here's your bonus, not bonus. I'm trying to work very quickly because I am out. You can see there's only a little bit on the bottom. That is not good. This is why we stay prepared, we stay prepped, and I cannot believe that I didn't have this set aside already for these types of situations. Here is the Redmond's Real Bentonite Clay. This is what you're gonna use. You just wanna take a couple of scoops of the clay. You don't need a lot. This stuff will last forever because it's just my fiance and I. We don't really use it that often, thank the Lord that we don't need to, but my nephew also has an allergy to bees. We're a lot more sensitive, so I'm starting to get a headache. So this is maybe, I'm gonna say about 2 tablespoons, give or take. I just did 2 big spoonfuls of this. I'm gonna take some water. I'm gonna pour this water in. I just took it from the Zephyr Hills container. That's probably too much water. You're gonna stir it up until you get like a nice kind of pasty texture. Now this can last for a little bit, so you don't need to worry about that. It's not going to necessarily go quote unquote bad. And you want to keep this on you, especially if you're traveling or you know, and you have an RV or something. My parents have an RV. This is just, you never know when somebody's going to get a stung or get something in their foot, like the bougainvillea got into my foot. You need this on hand, and you want it to be kind of like, I would say like toothpaste texture. That's fair, because I'm rushing through this. I'm not doing the best job that I could do, and this is why you need to have it ahead of time. So you see how it's pasty? I'm just gonna put this on the back of my leg where I got stung. Okay, so there is the sting. This is really an awkward picture here, but this is where I got stung. So that is not an end-all be-all for people. If you have an allergy, obviously you need to do what's best for you, take care of yourself. But I tried to keep this on hand, and I'm just so disappointed in myself that I didn't already have this prepped and prepared. I normally just keep it in the medicine cabinet. I keep it in this glass jar. I just make a note about what it is, you know, if need be. I don't personally need that, but sometimes my fiance does. I'm like, the stuff in the gray container looks gray. So this is what you want to keep on hand. If obviously if you have a bad allergy, obviously you need to do what your doctor tells you to do. I'm not here to tell you that. I'm telling you what I'm doing to try to help myself. And I like to keep like honestly some Benadryl around and some other stuff for emergency reasons. There's obviously natural alternatives you can do, but sometimes allergies are more intense than what over-the-counter stuff will do, so go to the hospital if you need to. But yeah, so I'm just gonna hang out here for a little bit, and I'm gonna make sure that we have plenty of this. Like I said, it looks kind of pasty. You want it to have a toothpaste like texture, and I just keep the lid on it, and then I stir it up and use it as needed. And so here it is in the jar. I don't keep a lot in that jar, and it's just because I don't really just have to use it that often. But this stuff, you probably want to wrap it in, like, I'll probably put a band-aid over the back of my leg so it can really, like, the bentonite clay can really pull out any toxins that are in that sting. So just off the grid, good stuff to have, honestly. But yeah, that's garden life. Sometimes you get stung and you just didn't anticipate it. I could feel something on the back of my leg, and I like picked the back of my leg up to kind of shoo it away, and when I did, it stung me. So, and I was standing in a little patch of these wild natural plants that we have. They just keep popping up everywhere, and so the bees love them, and that's kind of why I keep them around. And I should have known better going over there, but as I say in therapy, shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't always work out for you. You can't go back now, and it is what it is. So hopefully that is real life around here, friends. You get stung, you get stuff that happens, and that's why I tell you, be real careful when you're over in those types of areas where there's I've got raspberries or blackberries over there, the freedom blackberries over there, and snakes will definitely hang out in our neck of the woods, in those types of areas. And that's really part of the reason too why I want to get that area cleaned up, because it's not an area that I maintain a lot. I just kind of let it be wild and do its own thing. But with that being said, you get stung sometimes. So all right, friends, there was why you keep bentonite clay on hand. And I'm not telling you what to do, I'm telling you what I do, and you do what's best for you. Keep it in a nice glass jar, you'll be fine. Mix it up thoroughly, keep it on hand. Like I said, the story I was gonna say, ADHD and being stung, sidetracked. My fiance got tore up by hornets twice technically, and so we actually had to have a removal service come in and remove them. He tried to like get rid of them himself, but that didn't work out, so we had to pay to have someone come out, and they had a bee suit on and all that, and they were still getting whacked. Like, you could hear them hitting the guy's suit. I mean, it was bad. And because I have dogs and my neighbors and stuff, like in this area of Florida, hornets, I don't know how it is across other places. I'm not an expert into hornets and wasps or whatever, but they dig nests underground. And what happened was he was weed eating down towards the lake, and a hole like opened up, and they started just like swarming out. They were smacking him so bad, it was awful. Like, I'll never forget it. And I was just like freaking out because I couldn't get too close to him, and he just collapsed and fell to his, I mean, they were just like bam, 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 bam. And honestly, I know this is crazy, I made him strip off like his clothes and I have a actual shower that's a bath, and I said, get in the bathtub, and I ripped that water on and poured a ton of baking soda in it. Yes, it was Arm & Hammer baking soda, which has aluminum, but at the time that was what I had. And so I made him soak in that and just kind of monitored him and to see if I needed to take him to the hospital, because with that many stings, that's a whole nother story. Like, that's just, your adrenaline's up. He was shaking, he got pale white. You know, we're just not used to getting a lot of stings because we don't work outside. You know, we work in offices, both of us. So the garden is really my connection to the outdoors. So you guys, again, if we were in COVID and something shut, you know, places shut down, or it was really hard to get into a hospital setting, these are the things that you need to have on hand and already prepped and prepared to the best of your ability to try to help take care of yourself. Like I said, this isn't an end-all be-all. This is to try to help yourself now until you can get help. So that's just it, real quick. It's still stinging and burning. It's killing me. I'm literally getting chills from getting stung. Like, it's not good. So, all right, friends, I'm gonna go take it easy for a little bit until my fiance gets home. I've told him that I got stung, so I'm sure he's on his way back from the Lowe's to try to help me. But yeah, so until next time, everyone, love one another, be kind. I will see you guys real soon.